doing what we're supposed to do.
Welcome back, everyone, to Light Talk, where the paranormal and the supernatural is a part of our everyday lives. We have Linda back with us today, and I'm so excited. She's going to be talking about cutting cords and all. So let's get to it. So, welcome to the show again.
Well, thank you, Dana. You know I enjoy being here because my goal in life is to educate, enlighten, and entertain because I have a warped sense of humor. The people that come to see me and that I meet, and gifted people like you that may not have had all the classes I take. It doesn't just come from what I was taught by my great aunt or my aunt or my great uncle. It comes from classes I take. So I'm better at doing what the client needs. And it's lindahumphries.com, everybody.
There you go.
But everybody asks me, why do you align our chakras when we first get to your house for the first session or when we do it online? How can you do it when we're online with you, chatting like I am right now with Dana? How do we end up feeling so relieved and like a weight's been taken off? And why do we cry? And I explained to them, we, when I was little, was taught about the chakras that are in the front of the body, everything to do with the organs in the body, to do with our glands, to do with our vocal cords, and to do with what I will talk about, the pituitary gland, which is your third eye. We're taught that. None of us are taught about the back chakras. So when I took all the pranic healing classes I took, I went, oh my gosh, my Aunt Julia was wrong.
Oh, no.
It's important to know these back chakras because they're where we hold everything, where people attach to us and they don't let go. And because we're loving and giving empaths, and I'm talking to one right now with Dana, and we want to make a difference, sometimes we stay too long at the fair with these people and we end
Right.
up physically hurting in the physical body. So,
Yes.
one of the ways you align your chakras is this chakra bracelet found on lindahumphries.com. I charge $12 because I also ship it to you and I send you all the paperwork on it. But it also gets worn by pharmacists, by the seven specialists that helped me get well with my heart problems and my cancer problems that went away, and my sleep doctor. They all have one by request. Their nurses have one by request. So that's a fast way of having your chakras keep spinning and having you handle the day's events is to get this or the packets of stones that help with that. And then you have to lug a packet of stone with you or put it over your picture when you leave the door. But I want to get started on what the chakras are, what they mean, and then I will tell you how I relieve you of what is attached to you. One of the things I'm going to start it off with is by saying point blank to Dana, when you've got someone who's not listening to you, and everybody out here listening to this, or you've got relatives, or you've got friends that are doing the same behaviors over and over and over again, and you don't want to cut them off, but you notice when they leave you, parts of your physical body hurt. Then when you're sitting talking to them, arms crossed like this under your chest at the solar plexus region, our legs crossed. And you do it with the intention that I know who's coming tonight. I know who's going to be at the family gathering. I know what business people I'm going to talk to in this business meeting. And I know the naysayers and I know the people that are telling me what I need to change. I'm not wanting to listen. Yet you're going to sit there and be polite, quote unquote. You're going to be sweet and loving because you're a natural born healer as well as I am, as well as many of you out here who are listening are. So, no, I don't want you to throw everybody in the trash can. But as I'm going through the 11 chakras, I want you to know why in the back area it's affecting your front area. Interested?
Yeah, because I've got um back pain, which I'm not sure if
Exactly.
that's from my job or not
And we
because
will
of that.
talk about that. We
Mhm.
will talk about that going through. That's why I'm glad you're here tonight because I know what's going on. Besides, I'm glad that you're doing this to educate others. But
Right.
when you go to the God chakra, which is your 12th chakra, that I never worry about. It's where your angels, your guides, everybody sends stuff into your body. That does not have to be bothered with. But I always say it's your other heart. The guides, the angels, in my case, Jesus, Mother Mary, because I'm Catholic, watch over me. And when I need them to give me the energy as I'm reading for people, poof, it's there. So always remember that's up there. It's golden light.
Mhm.
In my case, in my aura camera picture, which I posted on my Facebook page one night, they said, "Oh my gosh, you've got two halos." And I said, "Yes, I know. Rabbis see them, nuns see them, doctors see them, nurses see them. I was born that way. Can't fix it, but I don't want to either." But
No.
that's why I'm saying when you get to the crown chakra,
Mhm.
where the baby's cap is put on and has been for centuries, they put the baby's cap on not to keep the baby warm, but to stop dark entities from entering the baby.
Hmm.
The nurses will say to keep the baby warm. But in the
Right.
olden days, before we had official nurses and doctors and all the people that I love that have healed me, thank you all, it was to keep darkness from entering the baby.
Hmm. Because of
So,
that soft spot is all opened up, so they
because it's
need to
very
protect it a little
soft,
more. Yeah.
and until it becomes a skull, thank you for helping, it's still soft. Once it is a skull and it is what we do, you can, after you help people, and Dana needs to do this after we get done with this session tonight, she can feel up there and feel how much warmer it is. And it's warmer because she's absorbed. Her chakras are doing what I'm asking them to do without me having to be there physically in front of her going, "Ah, ah, I got to do this, I got to do this." It's what
Right.
I'm saying. It's the releasing she's doing. So that's your crown chakra.
I
If
got a
you feel
feeling
how
now.
warm it is, if you feel how warm it is back there, you're probably already warm.
I'm actually freezing right now, but
Okay, then we will get it warmer. So pay
okay.
attention.
Okay.
As we move down to the next chakra, it's your third eye.
Hmm.
It's your pituitary gland. It's a physical gland in the body, but that physical gland controls all of the endocrine system. It helps run your body. So you always want that in good shape. That is why what it does metaphysically has to be respected. It is your third eye. It is what sends the next chakra down, your front throat chakra, the message to the vocal cords. So you speak your truth. You speak what is told you. The reason people ask me, I don't understand. My throat's fine. They check me. I don't have thyroid problems. And yet I keep gaining weight and losing weight. Can you explain this to me? And it was wonderful because it was the psychics I work with at the psychic fairs. And we start readings at the time we had all the psychic fairs in St. Louis, where I live, on Super Bowl Sunday. So the women could come while the men were so busy. They didn't care how much money the women were spending. They're busy cheering. Okay. So women like me that are truly, truly wanting to help and enlighten everybody would start their counseling then. We would end the psychic fairs, and there was one every weekend if you wanted to work that much, or every other weekend. You could gain 5 to 10 pounds. You would change a dress size. The one lady who sat at the door, Joyce, she loved people like I did. Her mission was to make a difference like Dana's is. She just didn't want to teach or have people come to her home. She wanted to do it out in public. I want to teach. They can come to my home. But so I can teach on here. But she would go from size 2 to size 8 to size 9 within the time period from Super Bowl to the end fair at the Veterans Day in November.
Hmm.
She didn't eat. I didn't eat, but I would gain a size. It was that when you're talking to people and your third eye is giving them what they say and what God is saying, and their guides and their relatives that have passed on are saying, and they're not listening to you, and you can tell it. You worry, is what you sent home with them to listen to that you recorded going to be listened to or just sat aside? Did you make the difference or didn't you? So remember another thing when you're in meetings at business or with relatives and they start talking to you and telling you how it should be, telling you what you need to do, telling you about your kids and what they don't do, telling you about your husband, telling you about your wife, if you're married, with a female partner. It doesn't matter who you are, bisexual, whatever, no matter what people tell you and what you don't say affects your back throat chakra that I'm about to talk about. So that back throat takes in all of that they're saying. And because you didn't do the simple thing of crossing your legs or your arms, you're listening with your ears, with your God heart, with your female physical or male physical heart, and you're wanting to give them advice. They're telling you what's wrong with you instead. So what you have happen is the cervical muscle at the top of the back throat chakra gets tense, and it's telling you, why don't you tell them what they want to hear? And then tell them what you know this truth and let them decide later. So if you're still not willing to do that and not willing to speak your gifts, then all of the muscles going up from there and around to your third eye tighten up. Because the third eye is tired of being ignored. Thank you very much. You didn't tell her the truth. She's going to let her kid continue to run around with the people he's running around with. And you know what they are doing. They're doing drugs and they're doing alcohol. So, unless you're going to release that you did that, you're going to get that massive, like you're in a vice,
Hmm.
because you didn't speak out in the business meeting. It also affects you in other ways that we'll get on with the other chakras later. So, what I have on my website, lindahumphries.com, I keep saying that, but I'm not going to quit, is what is called the Rolfing technique that nurses use and chiropractors use. It's where you press the vertebrae at the top of your spine that connects you to the neck. Then you press both sides where the blood vessels and the arteries go up to your forehead. And you hold and you breathe in and out slowly. I've actually done it with just visualizing the pressure there. And for a minute, you're doing that. As you leave it, you pull as if you're pulling out. Remember, we're pulling out cords, and you place it in purple flame. So it disintegrates and becomes white light, that it's not thrown over to somebody else. You understand why I said what I said, Dana?
Yes, I do.
Because many people hold on to stuff and they don't say their truth because you know the person's not listening anyway. But you have to if you're getting the headache when they're with you. When we go to the next chakra, it's your heart chakra. It's the front heart chakra. It's really the heart itself. I don't want you messing with it unless you've been taught how. The
Okay.
important chakra is the back heart chakra. That we want to clean, cleanse, get rid of make it spin because that's our worth to do with being loved and respected and cared about. And when we feel less than because somebody criticizes us, even in business meetings, it can affect how easily we breathe, how much everything is circulating due to the fact that the back heart has been affected. The front heart is going to give you a response because it
Mm.
knows what you're worth. In Kansas City and in my first readings in New York City, after counseling the girls to get through with college, yes, I did that for each of them. And as we were talking about it, I said, if you have somebody that you think blah, 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 blah about, and blah, 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 blah about this person, and your family is telling you this, and your workplace is telling you that they don't want your opinion on how to run the place, and yet it's going bankrupt from not listening to you, you need to visualize a pink rose. And I love that you're wearing pink because that's the color I visualize. So it worked good for tonight. And I didn't tell her what to wear, by the way, everybody.
No.
Visualize the pink rose opening and teardrops forming on it to celebrate what you're worth. When I did that with both sets of ladies for the days that I was still there, I did it right away in New York City. So for the full 11 days I was there, every sunset was pink. The
Really?
sky was pink. In Kansas City, the week I went out and taught the psychics and my clients, it was pink. So it's about we're celebrating that we're more than worthy of being loved. We are more than worthy of being respected. So that's why that's so important. When you say those affirmations, you believe them. I don't have to do what I'm going to tell you when we're finished with all the chakras. And you don't have to do it either, but I am going to tell you how to remove and cut cords if that has not helped by worrying. Then you move down to the solar plexus, which, as I tell everybody, it includes your diaphragm, the front solar plexus, and all of the organs in this area.
Mhm.
So your stomach, your gallbladder, your kidneys, your liver, all that's included in that, and the diaphragm for breathing. That's why I tell everybody when you're tense, if you can breathe in the color teal, which is the throat chakra of blue, which I'll get to later with you, and the heart chakra of emerald green, breathing in that color raises you up and then just drops those shoulders and relaxes you.
Mm.
It's what I tell people to do that are abused, that also are fighting cancers, that are fighting diseases that they've been told are a certain stage or a certain whatever. Because in doing that, you're releasing their doubt. You're releasing that they feel unloved because everybody's telling them they're dying and nobody's cheering them on. And they're letting go.
Just
Now
letting go. Yeah.
your back solar plexus, where the kidneys are located, is where everybody who hugs you and goes, "Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad you talked to me today." And then they go, "Gosh, she's so easy to get on the phone all the time. I'm just going to put an umbilical cord back here. So every time I want to get a hold of her, she mentally is thinking about me and I can call her." Got me?
Mm-mm. Mm.
In other words,
No,
you
thank you.
don't want you don't want that attachment, nor do any of the business women out here, nor do any of the mothers that are dealing with adult children that don't seem to get what they told them all this life. So, what you do after you're done with talking with somebody is if you find yourself with feeling like your stomach is bothering you, like you ate something wrong, your gallbladder or your liver hurts, you can genuinely do a simple technique, and I will show you. This is my healing hand. I cup it like a pyramid. Then I take the other hand and I pump. And I pump 5 times over whatever's hurting. And then I pull out like you're pulling away and put it in the purple flame. That
Hmm.
way, you've cleaned that back chakra. You haven't done what I'm going to tell you that I learned in pranic healing, which is even a wonderful technique, but it takes longer to do. This way, you've done it in pumps. If it still hurts, you do it in more pumps. As you're doing it, you say your intention. Always have an intention. So the body knows what it is supposed to do for itself. Now, when we go to the next chakra down, it's your spleen. Why is it working right? Are you involved in a car accident? Cancel that thought. Is there some other bodily trauma where you need to produce blood for immediately? You want that to be working all times.
Hmm.
Normally, you don't have to heal that unless you've had an injury in that area. Normally, the spleen is working no matter what. But when it slows down, is your back spleen is a spleen that all of us empaths and healers have. Compassion and passion to make a difference and help everyone who walks across our path. Okay?
Yes.
And you're guilty of this, Dana.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You're as guilty as I am turning red underneath my makeup. All right.
Yes.
And that is why the flyer I'm putting out to anybody who wants to contact me uh, will be how to book me, how to do things on it, but it's also how to book classes on cutting cords, aligning the chakras. Because everything we think, the words that are said to us, the words that we say to ourselves, can stop the chakras in the back from spinning properly, which then goes to the front physical chakras. So if you have someone you know isn't following what you're asking, they don't have a bone in them to be healed or a desire to be healed. They like being crabby. They like always being right. And they like judging their kids or judging the other people that work for them or with them. Then what you do when you're with them is you say to your spleen chakra, I do not want you responding. My being an empath today is closed off. And when you say that to your back spleen chakra, it will close itself down when certain people are with you. And you can even give it the hit list. And I will go through how to get your hit list in a minute, but we have to get to the other chakras. The Ming Mang chakra is your belly button. It's the boss. Sorry, I have to stand up real tall to get that one. It's the boss of all the chakras because it's where you got your nutrients as an embryo to
Hmm.
become the body that the soul is using. You don't have to do anything to that. It already
Okay.
was taken care of. The cord was cut from mom. You're not taking her energy in unless you're taking it in with the back chakras. The energy is gone. So
Okay.
it's just the boss. But when you get to the base two chakras, down your pelvis region, the front one genuinely is the physical chakra, as I told you. It's
Hmm.
about your reproductive area. It's about the bladder. It's about anything physical that is in that lower extremity. So if when you're not feeling good and there's nothing in your back, there's no pain in your leg, then yes, I will say, please go see a doctor because it isn't the metaphysical that Dana has tonight. But going to the back chakra on the base chakra, that's very, very important because it stands for what we're worth monetarily, how we see ourselves monetarily, what we should be given by people,
Hmm.
and what our value is as a person. That's why everybody says, oh, you have to do the Kundalini exercise, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do everything. And the Kegel exercises for females. Oh, it's wonderful. Anyway, but it's not about that. It is maybe physically for you if something physically is going on, but it's about making sure that back chakra is spinning. Because the first time I met Dana, I went, oh my gosh, she's going to make such a difference. But there is stuff going on that she needs to clear and clean out. And she needs to look at her bigger mission, the mission that fulfills her. And I said it to her bluntly. She can tell you, I wasn't quiet about it. And that's why we're doing her mission right now. So, as I said, that base chakra is value monetarily. Value. How should people be treating you? So, now that we've gone through the chakras and you know what's happened to you and why certain things hurt at certain times, I want everybody out there to listen to this. When I took the pranic healing classes, Master Choco Sui had made a deal with God if he'd heal millions of people, that he'd pass away at 55. He came up to me after he healed my carpal tunnel, and I told him I didn't understand why he made that deal with God. And he said, you're one of the only psychics that know my deal. He said, please do not advertise it till I'm gone. And he gave me his prayer. I am not, I am the soul is the name of the prayer. I'm not the body. I'm not the thoughts. I'm not the emotion. I am the soul. I'm one with God and I'm one with all. And then he repeats. And then he handed it to me in a poster form that's in my bedroom and in a small one with a picture of him. And he said, I
Nice.
want you to change that before I am passed. And I will be back to see what you changed it to. So Dana got the gift of the centering prayer. And everybody who I meet gets the gift of the centering prayer. And I give them permission to pass it on to everybody because it started out as Master Choco Sui's. And he asked me to change it to mine. And I changed it. So each of us who work for God, even if we're businessmen and businesswomen, like the lady I met the other day, and a lot of my other clients are, that are big, important people, we never lose our centering because of the noise around us. So that prayer is another thing you can do to center yourself. Now, to do with her base, go ahead, you can ask me questions, dear.
Oh, no, you're fine. Keep going.
If you go to the back solar plexus on somebody and they're in front of you, do the counterclockwise movements 5 times, pull out, throw away. Go down to the next chakra you know needs cleaning, pull out, throw away. Do each chakra. You can even do the front ones if you think something has happened that has caused them the
Mm.
migraines. In my head, there is a cyst on the pituitary gland. A lot of gifted people have a cyst on their pituitary gland that is not anything but a rat Kurt cyst. They are not going to kill you unless they grow, which unfortunately, when my Aunt Maudie passed out, it busted all over her head along with her gallstones. And she was supposed to go,
Mm.
but stayed another 4 months because she told God to leave her alone and tell Jesus to take all the guests that were there to take her the other side away. She said, I
Oh,
did my chakras. I'm fine. So even though she had fallen and was not supposed to be here, she aligned her chakras like I taught her. And it was hilarious when she told me that. And she says, and you can stay leaving tonight and till August the 3rd. So the power of what we say, the cleaning and clearing of our chakras, even when we know it's a physical thing that's happened, still makes us have the vitality and the energy to do what we're asking to do. That is why I said I go all the way down everybody's chakras when they come here. If I know, and I will give you the instance, a lady I grew up with came to see me because she kept dreaming about her husband. And I wrote all the pages I wrote for this talk tonight for her. Not once did her husband tell me she's crippled. When she gets here to my house, she can't get up the steps hardly, and she's bent over. She gets in, and Sister Teresa, the little flowers go, she's not crippled. It's about her supposed to meet another man like her husband told you. So do her chakras with your pendulum. So what I did is I took my pendulum, I held it up, and as it went along each chakra in the front, it spun perfectly. She had no heart problems. She had no stomach problems, no issues with anything physical. When I got to the back chakras, oh my gosh, it went in counterclockwise circles, then it stopped. Then it go in counterclockwise circles, stop. Counterclockwise circles, all the way down to her base chakra. And that one took me 5 minutes before it stopped.
Oh, wow.
But after I did that, she took a deep breath and sat on the couch. And she goes, why do I just want to cry? I don't
Good.
understand why I want to cry. I said, because you're being told by your children that you are not to marry, you are not to date, you're to be with them. They
Mhm.
love you. You have lots of female friends. You don't need to look for anybody in your life as a partner. Their father and you were soulmates. And it's not a lie. You were. But he told me for your reading, and then I got out the piece of paper and I let her read it herself,
Uh-huh.
that he was looking for someone who was a widower, who loved his wife as much as he loved her and she loved him, and were
Mhm.
soulmates. So when she passed, he would still be with her, and the man would go back to his wife. He was a little selfish, but I didn't mind. I loved him when I grew up with him. He was the nicest neighbor man. But it was important that she heard that. It
Mhm.
was important that I cleaned and cut all those chakras because when she came to see me, she's 62 years old. There was nothing sick on her, but the not being able to walk and the being bent over.
Right.
So when I finished it and she got up to go to the bathroom, I saw a lady strutting to the bathroom, strutting back and sitting back down and going, okay, now we can do the reading. What's this man going to be like anyway? And we did the reading, and it
Oh,
was
sweet.
fulfilling for me. But that is another way you can do your chakras because using the pendulum, you're not involved with counterclockwise pull, counterclockwise pull, counterclockwise pull. But I will tell you, once I align you, I always stand in front of you and cut cords with my hand going 3 times to do the physical cutting, the emotional cutting, the spiritual cutting. Then I do it in the back 3 times because I don't want anything reconnecting with you.
Right. Right.
So you can't have me come to your house. You don't want to stand in front of a big computer screen and have me do it for you. You do it for yourself. When it comes to the back chakras, you can't reach around and do counterclockwise unless you have really long arms. You get a pillow, and that long pillow is you. Pull, pull, pull. Remember always, any junk you pull out goes into that purple flame. So it
So the
dissipates and becomes white.
so you
Go
just
ahead.
have a pillow, you just have a pillow that you hold behind you and you're
No, I put it in front of me as if the physical me is standing in front of me. There's Linda Humphries in front of me, and her neck is hurting so bad from all the junk, and the lady's not listening to her that she just had. Pull by.
Okay.
When I used to be with, and I'm going to share it because I could care less, when I used to be with my sister who always bragged about how much money she made compared to me, how
Hmm.
rich they were compared to me,
Hmm.
and was always trying to make me feel less than,
Hmm.
I would go to every back chakra. And with each back chakra, I would say, you're doing God's work. You're getting paid by how many people's lives you're changing, who are now changing other people's lives. You are much richer than her. And I would say the affirmations. That's what you've got to remember. You say the affirmations that release. With my job, when I worked a job as a librarian, I did the same thing about that because I worked with people that didn't like homeless. They didn't like poor people. They just had their list of what they didn't approve of or like.
Right.
So I would start work in the morning with my blood sugar being 98. By the time I went home, it's 350. So when I got home, I pulled out and aligned my chakras. Then I took my blood sugar, and it was 98 again. So you all have to realize everything that is said to you, everything that you say to yourself, all the thoughts, all the emotions, and all the noise from people who say they know better than you.
Hmm.
If we allow it to be taken into us, it can cause us to be physically ill. That is why when your back hurts, like hers did, and her leg hurt, I knew it was by what was being said, by what was being told to her and tried to program in her. In your case, it's what they don't listen to and how frustrated you are, Dana, with what's going on. And I don't understand why, when you're gifted to do with business, you're not just gifted as a healer, you're gifted to do with business, that someone wouldn't listen to you. It does not make sense. But there are people that don't want to be told. And that is why I'm going to cover something right now that I want everybody to listen to. I had past life regression done, and I went to 3 different lifetimes that were really important. And in the one lifetime, I found out why I kept telling Aunt Julia when I was a little girl, Toth recorded my dream for me. He put it in my brain so I remember what to tell you I dreamt that's going to be a psychic event. And I kept using the word Toth, 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 Toth my whole life. I told people, you take this, and I'd show them what I had for them, and I'd give them, and it's right here across the table. We used it last time, and it's always here. The smoky quartz, and put it by
Yes.
your bed, and then ask
Mhm.
Toth to record all your dreams inside the smoky quartz. Hold it. The next morning, you'll remember everything. And it has helped you, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. I've been putting it under my pillow and I hold them. Um, and I'm understanding my dreams better now. I
Yes.
I'm able to read, okay, what's going on with these dreams? What is the
Yes.
message that I should be getting? And I'm
Yes.
now getting understanding where the messages are. And
Yes.
yeah, so it is helping.
That's that's why I'm glad when people say, "Can you give me certain stones?" or "Can you tell me what stones will help me with whatever? And can you send them to me?" And I always ask them, "Do you want a smaller pouch? Do you want something bigger? What do you want?" With you, I knew the labradorite would talk to you. I was positive of that. So I had to give her the
Yes.
labradorite roses that I sell and let it change color when she needs to know certain things. And I send the paperwork with everything that somebody would purchase from me. She knows how it is. She got all the paperwork. I bombard you so you can learn from it. But that's why I'm saying to those of you who want further stuff from me, if you put in LINDA Humpries .com, and then put the slash book, put another slash after the word book. It'll bring up my page where you book with me. Anybody who wants to friend me on a site, I will send it to you messenger wise. If you want to email me at linspirit@prodigy.net, and it's LINSPIRT dot prodigy.net, I will send it to you, the form to fill out to have a session with me. And don't forget, Dana also does sessions, guys. So I
Yes.
didn't want to leave that out because my host is as talented too. But I want people to know that when you go to lindahumphries.com, the most important document you will print off came from my past life. And that was the fact that I was Matt, Toth's wife, and she was the goddess of the laws of the universe. So when I did the past life and I found that out, I said, I want my prior self to channel the Bill of Rights for all of my clients. When you read the Bill of Rights, and it's on there to be copied, most of my documents can be copied on a copy machine. So don't feel like you're making on a printer. Don't feel like you're making a mistake taking it off of there. It's there to be used. But when you read the Bill of Rights, before you read it, you say, I'm reading this with the intention of it showing me who is violating what in my life. And have your notebook handy to write down on number one, number two, number three, number four, all the way down that big long bill. Well, this came up with the person I work with. This came up with the lady at church. Oh, this is about my sister. I already knew all that. Get me? But
Yeah.
that way you know who do you give all of your gifts to, and who do you cross your legs when they come to see you
Okay.
or cross your arms, so they don't go and affect the physical body. And I know we've talked quite a bit right now, and I don't want to go over time because last time we got really involved. It's called channeling, people. Please look it up. It's a good, good session, but it was 2 hours. And it did really teach a lot of people. And they did call me and ask for the stones. So that are my, even my regulars asked for the stones. So yes, I mean, anything I talk about, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me. It's 618-277-1368 Central Time, the US. And I will get to you things. That is my text message. So if you need a text message because I'm on the phone and ignoring you, or I'm on the computer ignoring my phone, please do so with that too. But as I said with Dana, I wanted to do what I did tonight. And I want now to have Dana ask me anything she wants cleared up that I've talked about or any further stuff she wants to know. So I can do it and say goodbye to everybody,
Yeah.
but also
Well,
give her what she needs.
what I was thinking when you were talking about all that is that to me, it was feeling like, you know, how the left hand is your receiving hand and your right hand is
Yes,
your giving hand.
exactly.
Your so like that. So your back is the receiving and the front is the giving.
Exactly.
That's what I was seeing and
And
how I
that's
was
exactly
feeling that.
right. That's why my Aunt Julia taught me when she taught me the seven chakras when I was real, real little, that you have to watch what's said to you because your stomach could get sick. You have to watch or you could get a sore throat. You have to watch or you could get back pain or you could have sciatica in a leg because you can't stand the person in front of you and you're not talking what you need to talk about them or to them. So it was funny because she was you. That's what she said. Exactly the way you said it.
Hmm.
So no, thank you, because everybody listening needs to realize that we're supposed to do our missions. I feel so fulfilled after I get done doing the talks with Dana because I know I've helped educate her to something she may not have known before. But I also know the people that are going to listen are going to learn and going to be able to clear themselves, even if all they do is buy the bracelet to clear themselves, or they follow what is on this webinar and they get the pillow and pull and throw in the trash. You're all going to learn because my goal is to enlighten, educate, and as I said, entertain each person to the gifts they have inside, to what their journeys are to be, and to not allow them to live in the physical body, in the emotional body, in the body where you're watching TV and all the terrible things are going on, and that's weighing you down. I want you to be that soul, to know that in doing that, you've raised yourself totally above. That's why when there is a full moon, I do the pranic healing twin heart meditation with the pranic healers, and we do our projects list of what we want to accomplish, and we power them up. He had me so out of body that when he said, "You all can come back in your body and wiggle your toes and wiggle your finger," I was like, "Leave me alone. I'm still out of body," sending final results to Dana to do with career, sending final results to the other people on my list. I haven't finished them yet. So please don't say namaste and say goodbye. I'm not ready yet. So, as I said, once your chakras are open, once you've cleaned and cleared, you will be the soul. You will be the soul that reincarnated into the physical body you're holding. Now, Dana, reach back for me. Tell me if you're still cold. And do the top. Raise above a little bit so you feel the energy coming out. Do you feel it?
I'm still a little cool, but it's cold in this room that I'm in.
No, no, and
So
I know the room is cold because I was warned about the room was be cold. But I
yeah,
want you in a
it's
cold room.
cold.
You're working hard tonight. But but it does really get warmer. And that's why I tell everybody who's business women and who's healers like you are, and healers like the nurses and the doctors and the people that come to me are, that I want you to feel that once you cleaned yourself. Because if you raise up like this and this is hotter or warmer, it means you have probably released everything from the back by what you've done for yourself. Just remember the articles from lindahumphries.com. The prayer to center yourself, number one. The Bill of Rights, number two. And if you have somebody who's doing the same behavior over and over and over again, and they're not seeming to change, you can look up the lifting prayer and do it for them. It was not written by me. They had 7 religious leaders work with the FBI, with the fire department, with the police department. They studied 250 families down in Arkansas and realized how they repeat from generation to generation. In my uncle's case, my one uncle, 5 members of his family that were male killed themselves after trying to attack someone else. And I didn't want it to happen to my cousins
Mhm.
and to their children. So I did the lifting prayer for all the generations. So it broke. They said when they came up with this, and it was 7 different religions, their gods are listed in that prayer. It cut the entities, pulled out the connections with people because they didn't have a good father. They were running around with kids that made them feel like they were loved when they truthfully were being programmed. And they quit being kleptomaniacs. They quit setting fires. They quit drinking.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
You understand why that is so important. They gave it to
Hmm.
me because I used to work the psychic fairs down there all the time and they knew me. And they
Yeah.
wanted me to pass it on because they know I have a big mouth when it comes to healing people. And would definitely make sure everybody could get to it. And it has been
Awesome.
printed in the newspapers. I
Yeah.
did talk about it when I was on the TV show. So, like I said, I'm honored to be part of you, Dana, and to be part of what we're doing.
It's so
I really am.
amazing, huh? It's so amazing how people will come to me and they'll say that too. It's like what I'm
Yes.
doing is helping so many people. And it's like
Oh, it is. And
I
it's giving me the platform so I don't have to work myself up worrying about, am I going to have a good podcast? Am I going to know how to use the web? Am I going to know how to do anything? You're doing it all for me. Bless you. And yes,
had so much fun doing this. And I still, after the time that I've been doing it, I still can't believe I'm doing this, but I am having so much fun doing this. It
and
just,
and you never take down our posts. So I always have
mm,
the address to send people to that are my new people. That's what I like about this. It doesn't go away in a week. It doesn't
no,
go away in a month. People can
no,
learn from me when they have the time. The channeling one everybody did last 2 hours. I have information on stones for healing. And when you do chakra stuff with me and get readings from me, there are times I say, I'm going to send you XYZ stone for XYZ reason. And don't worry about it. Just cover the postage. And there are other times when I say, I'm sending you XYZ, but if you need A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, they each cost. And you're
right.
paying for that postage too. But I also send you a printout that says, as Dana can tell you, this stone does this. And it tells you the metaphysical, the physical, the emotional, and sometimes the monetary
Mhm.
things that the stones do for you.
And I look
Stones are
at it all the
facilitators.
time.
Stones are facilitators. And that's why I'm proud
Mhm.
that Grasshopper sitting in front of me, who's also a teacher like I am, doesn't mind being taught, doesn't mind being educated,
Oh no.
because that is what we're about. Now, Dana,
Mhm.
are we close to saying goodbye to everybody?
I think we're pretty close. So,
All right.
yeah.
Then I want to say to everybody, namaste. The divinity in me salutes the divinity in each of you. May each of you have your guides, your God, your master teachers that look over you, give you the light and the strength to stay on your journey and always move forward in your journey. Amen. And so
Amen.
it is. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dana. Bless
Thank
you.
you so much. And
I
thank
look
you for
forward
being
to
on the show
talking
again.
again. Thank you.
Yes. All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
If anyone out there has any stories you would like to share with me, email me lighttalk423@gmail.com and we will connect with you. All right. Thank you, everyone, and see you next
Thank
time.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.